I'm Erin.
I'm Steven.
I'm Austin.
I'm Hannah.
And this is
Real Single.
This is real.
All right, next question. As a single, do you believe porn is okay? Come on now.
No. OMG, no.
That's a oh no. No.
That's an oh no?
Oh no.
Oh no or oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Porn is so destructive.
Yes.
That's the word. That's the
That
word.
fabricated too.
Yeah.
It's fabricated.
Yeah.
Nothing of it is real.
So I'll start off with this. Very powerful quote by a mentor of mine said one time, the world is designed nowadays, society, the world is designed to profit off of our weaknesses.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
And so if you think about what it is and what it does, it's taking a beautiful thing and twisting it
Yeah.
like a knot and making it seem like it's this like
Yeah.
absolutely amazing,
Yeah.
crazy, awesome,
Yeah.
like hits of dopamine left, right, and sideways type thing. And it's designed to mess with our heads enough, create this like negative emotion,
Yeah.
and people pay for that nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like years ago, our parents' generation, a little bit different, more like I guess like the magazines and stuff. This is
Yeah.
more the internet.
They
Yeah,
didn't
they
have as
still pay
much
for it.
access
Yeah,
to
they still pay just
so-
the
I
internet.
mean, now it's like available in your hand,
Yeah.
and it's not
To all
always been like
ages.
that. So it's really beginning to stretch a lot now. It's sad and it's unfortunate, but it's just crazy.
It's just straight up detrimental.
Yeah.
And it's bad because man, there was a stat. I want to say 70%. It said 70% of like men, just
Yeah.
strictly men in church, watch
Yes.
pornography.
Yes.
I think it was 70%, and it's just so bad because there's levels to it. One, pornography is a counterfeit, right? And then it goes back to that pleasure thing that I was talking about before. It provides pleasure momentarily, and then it's like shame right after, right? But I think the other thing with that is like I was talking to somebody who's dealing with it, and the biggest thing I was trying to get him to realize is like, why do you run to it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like what's the like what is the root of that problem? And a lot of that had to go with rejection, or you wanted to feel like wanted, special,
Yeah,
sought
that's
after,
good.
and everything.
Sure.
If you look at like the words I just said, that's all counterfeits for things that only God can provide.
Yeah.
No.
Right? So that's the biggest, to me, I think that's the biggest problem with pornography, along with other things. But
Yeah. I definitely feel like it, like you said, it's a counterfeit. So I think people, whether you watch it or like ladies read it, it's those romance novels. You gotta watch out for those. 'Cause, you know what I'm saying? I heard that guys watch and women read, and I was like, that's accurate. And I was like, this whole book. So I'm just like, I gotta stay away from this author. I'm like, I
I ain't
can't
heard
read
that
that.
before. That's
Yeah,
like-
I know.
wow,
That's what's in
facts.
those romance
It's so
novels.
true.
So I was like, oh, it's like this is smut. I was like, gosh, I can't. You know what I'm saying? Because then you go from that and you probably will start watching stuff. But that's not how it is. That's not, you know what I'm saying? But it creates this, because women were so, not visual, but we have strong imaginations. Like we could think of a conversation that
Yeah.
didn't exist in our heads. It's amazing. And guys aren't like that.
Guys are more visual.
Yeah. But, and so that they play to that industry plays to it, and so it's like guarding yourself from these false expectations, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen. It's false and it's not healthy. That's going to happen, that you want to happen in your relationship that isn't,
Yeah.
and you're just putting up these ridiculous expectations that somebody that's not God told you to have in a relationship, and they don't want your relationship to succeed, because it destroys relationships. Because at the end of the day, that person's going to feel that whether it's a man or a woman, they're going to feel compared to whatever it is you're
And
watching.
objectified.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So and the thing is, it's going to happen. You're going to objectify a woman if you're a man, or a man if you're a woman. Did I say it right? Thank y'all understand, okay? But you know what I'm saying? It's going to happen. It's just so unhealthy and just going to create a dysfunctional relationship.
I think too, you just gotta take a look back and see how fast it's accelerating and just how easily available it is.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yes.
It's an industry. It's an empire, and it's
Yeah.
not going to slow down anytime soon. And so I think about when I was a teenager and how different the world was back then.
Yeah.
How different it is now.
Yeah.
And thinking about the younger generation.
Yeah.
And it's frightening, and it's not designed to benefit us really in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And I think back to your, were you gonna say something? But I don't know.
No, yeah, I was gonna say like I'll even to open up and to be transparent, especially when I was younger, especially freshly going into college. That was something I had to battle with. because a lot of the enemy told me, which is so stupid, is watching porn is better than having sex.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not, because it goes back to that purity thing. Like, what? The thing that I had to, and thank God, bro. I honestly, I have to praise God because of how the word can, like, just filter through all of that mess, right? And take it out. Because that stuff gets in your heart and it gets into how you view women.
Yeah.
Like, you should not be in a church and you see a woman and you visually undress her with your eyes. And that's what pornography does.
Yeah.
You sexualize everything. And it's just a false narrative. But like, the reason I say I have to be real about it is because so many men think about it. And I didn't even think about it. To get even realer, in a locker room, because I always refer back to the locker room just because that was a majority of my life, it's talked about openly.
Yeah.
How many times they watch pornography a day, who they watch, how they watch it, it's open, right? So like the devil, bro, he's so bold nowadays. He ain't trying to hide nothing.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? So it's so bold, and so now it's so common, and it makes, you know, a man feel like, well, it's okay. And this is what really bothers me, and please somebody cut me off because I don't want to talk too much. But this is what even bothers me, is that even women now have accepted that men watch it and see it as okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Right? And they think like, okay, just go do what you gotta do.
Exactly. And they watching it with them. What you talking about? Like, it's the whole thing now. It's like,
do what you gotta do.
like it's watching a movie.
I don't care about it.
Yeah.
It takes the expectation away from me, but then you don't understand what that's doing to that man. Right? Like, and I'm not, don't confuse what I'm saying and like meaning like they think it's okay, so that's empowering the man. No, that's the man doing it himself.
Yeah.
Right? And also it's both ways. Because women watch pornography as well.
Yes, they do.
But
yes,
it's just sad that people don't see the deeper effects of what pornography is.
I don't think it's talked about enough, and I think that's why, because it's in the church, it's like taboo. Oh, nobody. I'm like, but 70% of the church apparently, is different. But how often do we hear that being talked about? And even with like the reading thing, because my friend suggested a book to me, and that opened up a whole world. And I was like, oh my gosh, and I had to literally like I started looking for books, and I had to work on like not looking for books that have that content in there, and I didn't know that that's what that was until probably I found out about that like a year ago, that women read porn. I was like, they would be considered it probably.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I think just to help people to guard, it's like, oh, this is what, you know what I'm saying? Because it don't sound like what that is, but that's what it is. And now you're having to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, women are they're definitely.
I look
They're
at
definitely in it.
My dad always said, like, whether it's whatever subject it is, like he told me to look around your circle, right, and like see who's dealing with it. If I think about my circle, like, and even the Christian guys that we are trying to walk, right, in daily life, like if I look back at like when I was in college, everybody I came in contact with was battling it. Either they were doing it and they had no conviction about it, or they were doing it and we all trying to stop. And it's because I think diving into the deeper root, and I can, like I said, open up for me, I understood why I ran to it. And then when I understood that, it broke. And it was because I understood when I ran to it, I felt rejection, right? As I said, I played sports, right? I played baseball growing up. Nobody likes to feel rejection, right? Nobody likes to feel failure. When I had that emotion, I ran to it, right? When I didn't feel significant, I ran to it, right? And so it's always a hole. It's always something like missing that you're running to try and fill. But once again, we always talk about like a counterfeit, right? It's a counterfeit.
It is.
I don't care what it is. If it's not God, it's not gonna fill you up.
Exactly.
And a pastor said this in a Christmas service a couple of days ago. Like, people say that they're looking for peace and they're looking for joy. Well, that means you're looking for Jesus, like, because He is that, right?
Exactly.
And so like running to porn, running to porn is not going to satisfy you at all. But nowadays the temptation, because of how accessible it is, and like how much people talk about it and it's normalized. And nowadays everything is they're trying to normalize everything.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem with it. It's so mainstream.
I mean, also, even with books, there's also people in my personal circle, they were talking about their dreams being like gross. And I'm just like, you're crossing some lines in your dreams. You need to reel this back in, because even in your fantasies, if you think it, you might end up doing
You done
it.
hit
So you
something right
gotta
there.
You really
reel that back in.
That's a whole
You done hit something right
other
there.
thing that you
You done hit something right there, because I tell you what, when I remember like when I was first trying to stop, I literally felt like I was being attacked in my dreams with sexual dreams and sexual intentions.
Yeah.
And then I realized in my dream that I can say no.
Yep.
You know, I can wake myself up.
Yeah.
I don't care what the thought is,
Yeah.
contrary. I know because I've done it, right? I can wake myself up and be like, nah, I ain't with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you hit something right there.
Yeah, that's very true.
We could go on this for
'Cause
hours.
We could, we really could.
But I think what we all saying as a whole, no.
No, it ain't right. Don't do it. Trust me.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
No,
it's terrible. It's so dirty.
It is, and it's like sticking your hand in a paint jar is what I like to do. You might be able to rinse off the paint, but there's still residue.
And it's like
and it's
detrimental for the
lasting,
people
too.
around you too, especially like family members. I know that personally, my brother dealt with it, and I'm just like, oh man. And he opened up about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
to everyone in the family, I'm just like, okay. Now we have to address this.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
to bodyguards
Boundaries
and watch
and
his mail
accountability
and all that.
and
I'm just like,
everything.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only,
Like, gross.
the only other thing I would say is like, hopefully if somebody's watching this, like, is how do you deal with it? You know, because
Oh, yes.
people, we don't talk about it enough in church. It's like, how do you deal with it?
Yeah.
Like, bro, you gotta create some type of
Probably as
boundary.
a
Yeah, I think
boundary.
You got like, bro, stop scrolling on Instagram all the time.
Accountability.
Get off that
Yeah.
explore page, that joint.
Yeah.
Evil. That like my mom always say like, the devil comes when you bored. So like for me, I got a boundary. Like man, like I'm not scrolling on Instagram past like 9 o'clock. I ain't doing it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know what's out
That's
there.
real,
I know
yeah.
subconsciously
Yeah.
kind of
That's
what's in my
real,
mind.
yeah.
I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? I don't follow women on Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why do I need to see that? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's
Like,
really
well,
good.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I was just having this conversation with somebody else. Like, people think I'm like corny because it's like, I don't follow a woman if she doesn't follow me back.
Right.
And that's not a pride thing. It's more so if I don't know
A
you,
safety
right? Like if I don't know you, like why am I following you, right?
Mhm.
And if I'm still following you and I don't know you, it must be because I'm attracted to you. And if I'm attracted to you and I'm constantly seeing you, subconsciously, them thoughts gonna come automatically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with pride. It's me knowing myself
Yeah.
Yeah.
and putting up safeguards so that I don't fall into
I mean,
Yeah.
something else.
even
you know
with
what I mean?
safeguards, you also have a person
And it's still
go
hard.
to.
Yeah.
You're like this person.
Yes.
I confess my sin to you. I'm like, if I'm
Yes.
falling, if I'm tripping, I'm calling this person up.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
you have to have someone, a community to help you
Yeah.
get over this.
Yeah.
Because in a sense, it's like an addiction almost.
No, it's not kind of addiction.
It is. It's a drug. I call it, it's like accountability. Like I got people I can talk to, you know what I'm saying? Like my real friends, they fast with me. I was like, I am so appreciative. Like, but like, I feel like that's like having that there is one of the ways, like you said, that keeps you from, I feel like going back to it. And then you just have to evaluate, like, where is it getting in? You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like it's getting in somehow.
It's-
I
you gotta
don't,
leave. Yeah.
I don't watch certain shows, like,
Yeah.
and like I just know like certain movies, I cannot watch it because I know the content that's in it, and it's
Yeah.
gonna make me want to go back, and I'm like, I can't do that.
You gotta be smart. You gotta be smart. I've
Yeah.
had previous relationships where they have gotten mad at me. They're like, yo, watch this movie with me. No. I ain't doing it. I know it's in the movie.
Yeah.
You ain't tempted on the way that I'm tempted, so
Exactly.
it don't bother you,
Exactly.
right? But I can see,
Exactly.
right? So like you can't tell me what
Thank you.
like. Oh, watch this. You shouldn't be tempted by it. How you gonna tell me? I like you know what I'm saying. I know myself,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right? I mean, so and it's just like I said, it's tough because so many people struggle with it. We just don't talk about it. I think fasting is key as well.
Yeah.
You got to put your flesh back in the right
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
Like you have to,
Yeah.
and that's part of it. Part of coming up with those like, what do you call it? The just being disciplined about it.
And
It's just
boundaries.
the boundaries. You have to be mature about it. You
Yeah.
have to like so you have to know yourself.
You need
There's also
attention.
some there's resources that are available
Yeah.
in the app store or wherever you get apps from, whether it's whatever device you're using.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, lock in.
Accountability apps
Yeah.
where they'll send a message to somebody that you trust,
Yeah.
or just like a program. There are programs available that are free. You
Yeah,
know,
that's really
whether
cool.
they're on like a certain website or a certain app
Yeah.
that'll help you progress.
Yeah.
Accountability apps,
Yeah.
things like that. I know will help too.
I low-key feel preachy, but it's just because like I've been through it, so I know. I heard a pastor say like 2 weeks ago, you are not defined by your success and you're not defined by your failure. So there's got to be somebody watching dealing with it because it's so many people that deal with it.
Yeah.
It don't like some people think the deliverance is immediate. right? And sometimes that,
Like, it
and
could
sometimes
be. It could be.
sometimes it could be,
Yeah, it could
right?
be.
Because
I've
I've heard that, right? I've seen it, right? Mine wasn't immediate,
Yeah.
right? I know other people who are free now. Theirs wasn't immediate,
Yeah.
right? So like, I just want, if somebody's watching it, do not define yourself by that action. Recognize that it's wrong.
Yeah.
Recognize that you shouldn't be doing it. That God is greater than that. He's already overcome that.